One of the things to remember about the Hawaiian language is that it's a phonetic language, spoken language. It was never written down in its original format. Only in recent years, when I say recent years, the last 30 or 40, did it really get put into a solid written structure. Up until the turn of the century, there actually was a W in the name, and it dropped from use. This area had a little bit different dialect. It was almost a slack jaw pronunciation, so it was a very, very soft W, Kahoa. What does it mean? Well, again, like many Hawaiian words, the Hawaiian language is very expressive, but it's not always very precise. So words will express general feelings, ideas, concepts, but they need to be put into context before they mean anything. Kahoa means things like the beginning, the envy, the foundation. It can also mean egg, seed, about 10 or 12 others we're not going to get into right now. Where it comes from, though, is one of the major subdivisions under the kingdoms is something called an ahupua. Ahupua were, ideally, strips of land that would run from the top of the mountains down to the ocean. Now, they were different sizes and shape. Some didn't go all the way. It was not a unit of measure. It was an area, though, that would be run by a single individual called a konehiki, by Kahuna. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you any of those names in 5 minutes, okay? The key to remember, though, is the strip of land, because we're on the old strip of Kahoa. Down below in the flat areas below the road there, that's where Kamehameha I actually trained his personal guard as he formed his military. And there, of course, he went out, conquered the islands, guiding the island. So, the beginning or the foundation, Kahoa. Now, Kahoa Ranch. A little bit different. Started in our present format in 1928. Originally started by two families, Richards and Von Holtz. It ran as a single unit until about the mid-'80s, which time we had a really friendly split. What it came down to is the two families had different corporate structures. And due to some change in the law at that time, the IRS stepped in. And they were rather blunt. And we could no longer operate as an undivided interest. Now, if anybody out there has ever had the opportunity to work with the IRS, you know, yeah, there you go. You know that when they say things, they really mean it, right? So we did part of it. Now, we do still share water systems, occasionally cowboys, but we are separate ranches. Kahoa today is about 8,500 acres. On that, we run normally close to 2,000 breeding cows, about 600 breeding ewes. Everybody know what a ewe is? Sheep? Breeding sheep? Okay. Now, we also run a separate section down at the south of the island, which is called Kuhuku. Kuhuku's a ranch that broke up a few years ago. We run some of the larger areas under contract, and at one point we had close to 2,000 head down there. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm saying usually, normally. Well, unfortunately, one of the things you can't tell right now is that the island's been in a series of droughts. It's gone on for almost 9 years. And we've gotten as little as 30% of our normal rainfall year after year. Well, that means you have to whittle down the number of animals that are actually out in the fields. Part of it, too, some of the Kahuku lands were shifted around and changed off. But right now we're running a grand total of about 1,200 breeding cows, about 350, 400 breeding ewes. So the numbers are down, but as you look around, we're doing pretty good right now, so everything's starting to be bred back up. Now, geography of this place is also pretty interesting. The top of the ranch you saw driving in, it's that way, a little over 2 miles. The big hill covered with trees, that's called Pupupili, again, highest point on the ranch. The top of that is a little over 4,500 feet. That area receives, on average, over 120 inches of rain a year. The bottom of the ranch, switched off that way, again, a little over 3 miles, is down close to 500 feet. It gets 9 inches of rain. This is one of the few places in the world where you can literally walk from a jungle to a desert in about an hour. Very diverse climates as you move away up and down the mountainside. There can also be over 35-degree temperature. Up above be in the 50s and 60s, down below is the 80s and 90s. This is all within 5 miles. So very, very diverse climates. How do we run it? Well, we operate under a single principle. We have for quite some time. In recent years, it's kind of become a buzzword, unfortunately. The principle, of course, is sustainability. We've all heard that word used and co-opted in a million different ways. Here, it's real simple. What we do today, we want to make sure that we can do tomorrow and on into the future without degrading the value, productivity, or frankly, the beauty of the land. As you look around you, it's a pretty special place. We're doing what we can to keep it that way. You say, it sounds nice. What are we doing? Well, a good example is something called high-intensity rapid rotation grazing. Now, when you look off the distances down below and off behind me, you will see gatherings of black, white, and brown dots. Those are cows, okay? Take my word for it. One of the things you're going to notice about them, though, is although they're not standing shoulder to shoulder, they're also not roaming free. They're in a smaller area. They can be there as long as a week, as short as half a day. And then they rotate on. From there, it's anywhere from 30 to over 120 days before they come back around. So what? Well, properly managed, this system will actually eliminate almost everything negative associated with the raising of livestock. Things like trailing, erosion, plant cessation. All of it goes away. Good example, take your yard. Walk across your yard once a day, every day in the same spot for a month. End of the month, what do you got? Path, trails, dirt, mud if you live in Hilo, right? There you go, some of you made it to Hilo. Anyway, you're going to walk through the grass. Flip side though, walk back and forth across your yard 30 times in a single day. And then don't come back for a month. You'll never know you were there. It's the same deal with the livestock. Put them in, graze it off, move them on. It also doesn't allow them to pick at what we call the ice cream plants. You know stuff they really like and they'll pick at over and over? They don't get to do that. Everything's grazed for a short period, animals are on their way. Most importantly though, is by being able to control the timing and the exposure, we don't have to just try not to do damage. We actually use the livestock as a tool to improve what's going on in these fields. Ways we do this is, let's say plants are coming up. Good for the ground, good for the animals, starting to form seed heads, getting ready to reproduce. You can do what's called skip grazing. You go around it. You may go around it for several rotations. You let the plants finish their reproductive cycles, then you put the livestock in, graze off the standing dead matter, and they actually stomp the seeds in the soil. The next year, there's more. Flip side, I got something coming up, getting ready to seed out. We don't really want. What do you think we do? Put the cows in there. You can yell it out. I'm not going to yell at you, okay? Put the cows in there. Graze it off. Break the life cycle. The next year's what there's life. Now, none of this is about absolutes. It's all about subtly shifting the balance around, keeping the grounds productive, minimizing your impacts, and improving stuff when we can. Now, this brings us to a very important point, which has to do with being a tropical island, especially one that is getting as much traffic as we are today. Because things have been showing up. Little plants, little animals, little creepy crawlers. They've been sneaking their way into Hawaii and establishing themselves. Anybody seen those little yellow birds flying around? Who knows what those are? Well, not the canary. They're saffron finch, that's correct. The saffron finch, those came to Hawaii in bird cages. Those were pets. Enough of them came in, they established a population, now they're absolutely everywhere. The good news is they're pretty much only displacing other non-native species, but it is a change. How about the big green lizard with the orange spots? Anybody seen those? Yeah, what's that? Well, there is a chameleon, but I'm thinking of the gecko. The one with the orange spots, that's a gecko. But that is not the normal Hawaiian gecko. The other one is a little bit smaller, it's light brown, and it chirps. The big green gecko came into Hawaii through potted plants. That particular gecko is notorious for laying its eggs. The plants get shipped, and out they come. I think it came from Tahiti. Originally, it was from Madagascar. But it has come in, it's established itself, now it's absolutely everywhere. One of the major problems, though, is guess what one of the things that the big green gecko eats is? Little brown geckos, yeah. So unfortunately, those guys are taking it in the chops. Who knows what a koki frog is? There you go, some of you do. If you're not familiar with a koki frog, same thing, came in potted plants, and it's a cute little frog. About the size of your thumbnail, a little bigger, kind of a brown mottled color, a little brown stripe down its nose. And the truth is, it would probably fit in Hawaii just fine. Except for one issue. It chirps. It chirps really, really loud. It chirps at 97 decibels, okay? Putting it in perspective, that is roughly the sound of a running lawnmower. Now you're probably thinking to yourselves, yeah, but you know, lawnmowers aren't that bad. I can live with that, right? But in a wet climate, they can populate up to 11,000 an acre. So imagine 1,000 lawnmowers in your yard, all at once. That is the koki frog, okay? Now, all those have caused their own issues, and they've affected different things. One of the things that's really affected the livestock industry, we've also all seen. Edges of golf courses, fields, anywhere the soil's been disturbed, you'll see a plant. It's dark green, about that big, you know, give or take a little bit, but it's covered with little yellow flowers. It's nodding heads. If you haven't noticed it, look out the windows when you're driving around. You'll see this stuff. It's called Senecio madagascaris. Madagascar fireweed. Not a real Hawaiian sounding name, is it? Came in about 16 years ago. Came in accidentally in a batch of contaminated hydromulch. You know that stuff you shoot on the side of the road, makes grass grow? Well, that's got seeded. They had a bad batch of seed, the plants were mixed in, the plant got loose and started to spread. Even worse, you shoot hydromulch at construction sites, where you have trucks. Trucks immediately picked it up and carried it all over the island. In some areas today, this plant will actually cover 60 to 70% of the arable soil. And it's an alkaloid toxin. Cattle or horse get any volume of it, it seriously damages exposed skin because it's photoactivated by the sun. It'll seriously damage your liver, and if they eat too much of it, it'll kill them. But sheep can eat it! Once again, it is clear that I need to work with you folks on this. One thing that we have determined here at Kapalua Ranch is that when it comes to sheep, and groups spontaneous cheering. It doesn't happen much together, okay? So what I want to do is I want to boil this all the way down. We raise the sheep to eat the weeds so we can raise more cows. Wait for it, wait for it. One more time. Like I said, sheep can eat it. I shouldn't think you have to come here to learn how to do that, huh? Anyway, by using on a rotational base, you can control it. Again, it's not about absolutes. So what do we do with all this stuff? Well, first of all, the sheep. Sheep, of course, you have two products. You've got meat and you've got wool. Now, granted, we're coming to summertime, but as you look around, you probably realize we don't spend a lot of time worrying about when the next snowstorms are coming, right? So it's really not critical when we shear these things. So every year to 18 months, kind of when it's convenient, we actually bring in a crew from Montana. Normally about 3 people come in, and in 1 or 2 weeks, they shear close to 2,000 sheep. Now, you're probably wondering, why does it take 1 or 2 weeks, right? This is a business. You should be able to program that down a little tighter. Well, there are factors that come into play. First one is, a bunch of guys from Montana. Second one, which really drives that first one, is something called the beaches of Hawaii. Apparently, you can't jump the fence and go down to the beach when you're in Montana. The good news is, though, if you've ever had the opportunity to watch someone who is badly sunburned attempt to shear a sheep, yeah, it's kind of worth the down day all in itself. So, anyway, great bunch of guys. They come in, they shear the sheep.